Huddlers! On a Sunday afternoon, we think this is the last day of the IPL and it better end today. They've taken away the one good thing about the IPL, which was Danny Morrison's commentary, so I'm doing my bit to bring back the joy into the IPL. We are looking ahead to the final, the big game. It's Chennai Super Kings versus Mumbai Indians. It's happening at the Eden Gardens. The real game is happening off the field in the BCCI boardroom, in police stations across the country. It's that kind of tournament. It's been a real mess. But yeah, we have to talk about the cricket. I'll start with you, Ian. Given everything that's been happening off the field, should we even have a final today?
Yeah, I'm of good afternoon, all. I'm of the opinion that this final may not or should not maybe go ahead. Looking at the rules, looking at how they're set out, it seems a little bit of a farce that this final is actually happening.
Just a little bit of a farce. Isha, what do you think? Good morning, by the way. Isha has had a flight back to the UK from India. She was there at the game in Calcutta the other night. She's severely jet lagged and she's really put in a lot of effort to stay up for the huddle. That's a lot of commitment. Thanks for that.
I have indeed. I've had about a 6 hours sleep in the last 2 days, and I'm doing it for the team. But yeah, I just think for a tournament that's lasted about 2 months, it needs to come to an end. And obviously, a final with two of probably the best teams in the tournament. I guess, yeah, it does need to come to an end somehow. And so, yes, I'm fine with it going ahead, but obviously overshadowed by a lot of issues around the tournament, which have been a real shame, actually. And at the moment, there's 3 or 4 people involved and have, been pinpointed as being involved. And so you can't allow that to affect the rest of the tournament. And just hopefully nothing more comes out with regards to these 2 teams after the final.
Those are almost prophetic words, Isha, that we should have a way to bring this tournament to an end. It might happen off the field for all you know. They might just pull the plug on the entire circus. Good morning, Mark Butcher.
Morning.
A late night too. He's just woken up to talk about the IPL. So tell us, Mark, should we have a final today?
Look, there are a certain group of people who don't deserve to be adversely affected by all of this, and those are the tens and hundreds of thousands of fans who have turned out and watched these games on a regular basis for the last 8 weeks. So yeah, the final should go ahead, and then everything possible needs to be done to try and clean it up, because the one thing that all sports can't afford is to have the veracity of the contest being called into question every time, because if that happens and if that continues to happen, then those same fans won't pay their money to come and watch anymore. It's as simple as that. The sponsors will pull out and the whole thing ceases to exist. So yes, there should be a final. Yes, it should be a very good one, and the fans should be able to enjoy it and see the thing come to an end. And then it needs to be that everything needs to be as vigorously investigated and people need to be prosecuted. And so the whole thing can start off again next year with no clouds hanging over it.
Look, I'm going to just jump in here. Like, if this wasn't a final, guys, if this was just a regular round-robin game and we'd find out that the CSK principal was involved, had been involved, and is involved, would they have been kicked out earlier? And I think that's the point that I'm trying to make. Had this have been a third of the way through, 2/3 of the way through, would CSK still be in the tournament? And because of the rules, they should be kicked out. Look, I love it that there is a finale. I love it that there is an end game. But just given the situation of the game, given the situation of the tournament, I don't think that should change anything.
Fair enough. Mark, you mentioned the hundreds of thousands of people who have turned up. Isha, you were there at the game between Mumbai and Rajasthan, and you mentioned it was quite clear on TV that it wasn't a sellout, and this was even before Mr. Gurunath Mayappan's arrest. It was around a 70% turnout. We know that Kolkata is a fiercely loyal crowd to their home team, and Kolkata KKR were not playing, so we might not have had a full house either way. But do you think there's going to be a backlash today? Will the people of Kolkata turn up for the match?
Well, I've heard, yeah, first of all, the KKR crowd are very loyal supporters, and I know that from experience. And yes, the other night, probably 70 or 80% of the stadium was full.
Is it? That's 78% of 100,000 stadium, though, isn't it? So it's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good still.
70,000 people. Blimey.
Yeah, that could have been partly down to the rain, because it had been raining, for a couple of hours before the game, so people might not have thought that it was going to happen. So there was still a decent chunk of people there to watch the game and watch the semi-finals. And actually, some of the crowd were getting involved, shouting out Srishant's name, but more mockingly than in anger. And so I think today I've heard that it is a sellout. Whether it will be packed out is another thing. But they've got two big teams on show. They've got Dhoni versus Sachin Tendulkar. I don't know if Sachin will play or not, but Kolkata people and fans are big supporters of cricket, and so it'll be interesting to see whether it is a sellout or not.
People calling out Srishant's name mockingly, where have I heard that before? It's nothing been always been the case.
Wasn't Dhoni quoted as saying that if CSK has any links to anything dodgy, he won't be playing the final? That's one of the rumors that was doing the rounds. Dhoni hasn't actually spoken much at all about everything. And yeah, there's no proof that he actually said those. It was a Twitter rumor that was started off like several other Twitter rumors that are doing the rounds. Love a rumor.
So let's talk about the cricket. It's going to take some...
What do you want to do that for?
Mark, Chennai Super Kings on the field, they've made 5 finals out of 6, and they've generally been indestructible by their opponents, but today they're going to be dealing with a lot of mental turmoil as well off the field. And are they equipped to handle that, or is the pressure just going to weigh them down? Is it going to play in Mumbai's favour today?
That's incredibly difficult to tell, because the players themselves, it depends on on how entwined they are with what's been going on with the ownership, and I tend to think there's probably very little. But they failed to win the final last year. Kolkata beat them last time, so they're not invincible. And I think it was which has been highlighted in the past. Their one strength is obviously their batting, which is magnificent, led by Mike Hussey, finished off by Dhoni with Raina in the middle. They're a pretty formidable batting team, but I think as a bowling unit, they leave a bit to be desired. So, which they then try to make up for by being perhaps the best fielding side in the IPL. So look, I mean, both teams are pretty strong. I would say that Mumbai have probably more of a record of being sort of mentally frail in these bigger games, and it almost saw them get kicked out on Friday by Rajasthan. And I just have to take my hat off. I put my imaginary turban on for my old mate Harbhajan, who played 2 of the ballsiest shots that I've seen in a situation like that. And to all those people out there that like to give Budgie a load of stick, there you go. That's why people love him, because he's got some strength of character behind everything else. So I think that's what's going to make it a fascinating final. It's as much the two teams, the things that the teams don't do quite so well that is fascinating to me as the things that they are brilliant at. Obviously with Malinga, Pollard, etc., from Mumbai. So it's going to be a cracking game. You have to put aside all this other stuff and just hope that the spectacle as a final is something that people will remember. And then, as I say, you can get on with cleaning the whole thing up afterwards.
Isha, it's almost shaping up into Chennai's batting versus Mumbai's bowling once again, isn't it? Because Mumbai have a very regimented batting lineup. They have 6 batsmen, and then you have Harbhajan coming in earlier than he should. He does play some really big shots under pressure, but you probably don't want to have somebody like Harbhajan at 7 or 8. I think that's where he bats. Chennai, on the other hand, they have Dwayne Bravo coming in after Dhoni, and then they have Chris Morris, who can also bat. They have Ravindra Jadeja floating there. So it's a long batting lineup that goes up against 5 really good bowlers in the Mumbai lineup. You think that's going to decide the game once again today?
Yeah, once again, it'll be interesting to see who bats first. I think Chennai, if they win, they'll want to bat first and make the most out of the conditions. We saw the wicket the other night was extremely flat and very different to how the wicket had been playing throughout the tournament, which was slow and sluggish. And yes, Chennai boasts an extraordinary batting lineup. Let's be quite frank about it. Mumbai as well, probably one of the most potent bowling attacks in the tournament. You've got Lasith Malinga, who didn't have a great game the other day, but someone of his experience, international experience, should be able to come back. From that. Mitchell Johnson as well adds another dimension with his left arm seam. Singh and Ocha. I think there's a question mark over whether Ocha will be playing because he had a little bit of a niggle in the last game. So yeah, very much clash of the titans, batting versus bowling. Should be interesting.
Ian, you were chuckling away when Malinga was mentioned. The couple of wides that he bowled the other day almost made Steve Harmison's famous ball look like, it was on the stumps, it was on the money. What was happening there? It was slippery.
Yeah, they gave me a bit of a fright, actually. I think it would have given the batsman a bit of a fright as well. I mean, picking up Malinga's not got to be easy to start with, and then all of a sudden one comes out and you don't know where it's gone because it shouldn't go down there. It shouldn't be that far away. So I dare say the batsman facing would have actually been thinking this could be a flat one at my head, and it end up 15 feet down the leg side. No, I've never seen Malinga lose control of a delivery anywhere near quite as much as I did those two in the same over. So it was boggling. It was crazy stuff, and maybe it was just the pressure. But just going back to this game today, it's like you've got one big squad, and you just put in the batsmen versus the bowlers, and it's and that makes for good training. That makes for a great game.
I tell you, the odd thing about Malinga is that if you sort of look at bowling and what you're taught and what everybody is taught about bowling, then the amazing thing about Malinga is that stuff like that doesn't happen all the time.
Well, that's where it's supposed to go.
That's how skillful.
Bowling.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So that just highlights how incredibly skillful he is because it's such a shock when something like that happens. But when you bowl the way he does, you should do it. You should do it 90% of the time, or normal people would anyway.
Yeah. No, yeah, and that's exactly where his deliveries should go with his action. But, exactly what Brooke says. He's just so amazingly talented and gifted that with a straight up and down arm bowler, a typical fast bowler up and down arm, all you've really got to do is control your length. Because he's coming so far around arm, he's going to control line in terms of timing of release and length and timing of release, and he is just amazingly, freakishly so good that I'm quite surprised we haven't seen more of those deliveries. But yeah, interesting.
A little bit of rain in the air, and you never know. I mean, even Malinga's well-oiled action can go off skew. Isha, have you seen anybody in women's cricket with an action even half as freakish as Malinga's?
No, I haven't actually. Not at all.
Come back, Isha.
I haven't. Thankfully, in women's cricket, everyone sort of goes by the book generally. I haven't seen any crazy action. The one strange action is from a spinner from the West Indies, and she has an extraordinary run-up, and Mark should know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and for some reason, mine has gone completely blank. But yeah, it's a very strange, no front arm whatsoever, but she still manages to land it in the same place all the time, which just shows that you can get away with pretty much anything as long as you are able to execute your skills on a regular basis. You're capable of doing anything.
The best part of those two shockers from Malinga was his reaction after that. He was looking at his arm like, what the hell just happened? Did that just go out of his hand? Really?
Yeah, somebody had sewn somebody else's arm onto his shoulder, and he couldn't control it. It's like Frankenstein's bowler.
Yeah. So talking about bowlers, talking about IPL finals, I have a pop quiz for you, Mark. I'll ask you. Can you tell me the name of the bowler with the best figures in an IPL final?
it must be somebody from Chennai because they're the only ones who play in them all. So no, I can't tell you. No idea.
Okay.
On that
you
clue,
want to make a
on
guess?
that clue. Sorry, on that clue, I'm going to go with Ravichandran Ashwin.
Okay. Ian, you know the answers. I'm not going to ask you. We went out and asked our fans. So and yeah, they kind of we play this 2020 questions thing. This is the last installment of that. So Ketu, press that button.
So here goes the final question of IPL 2013. Which bowler has taken the most wickets in an IPL final? Hey, I'm Nishant. I'm Adai.
Hi, I'm Archana.
Jimshad. Sharat. Nizam. Hisham. Riza. Partha.
Is he an Indian?
Yes. Plays for... Is it CSK? Mumbai Indians? Punjab? No, Punjab have never been in final. Yeah.
First edition was Rajasthan, then Deccan Chargers, then Chennai.
Is it from Kolkata Knight Riders?
No.
Delhi Daredevils.
No. Sunrisers. No. DC. No.
Rajasthan Royals, was he?
Bangalore. Yes.
Bangalore.
He has played for India.
Yes. RP Singh? No.
Is he from Karnataka?
Yes. Fast bowler? No.
Spinner.
Yes.
Is he off spinner?
No.
He's there in this season.
No. He's retired. Right-hander? Yes.
Okay, so our leg spinner from Karnataka?
Yes. Anil Kumble?
Anil Kumble.
Anil Kumble.
Anil Kumble.
Anil Kumble. Yes. Well, the answer is Anil Kumble. He took 4 for 16 in RCB's final against Deccan Chargers in 2009. That's the only instance of a bowler taking 4 wickets in an IPL final.
Wow.
There we go.
Another former Surrey player.
I reckon he needs to grow a moustache, Ranish. I think he'd look fantastic with a moustache.
Yeah, he had a moustache, then he had a French beard, and by the time he finished, he had none of that. But the funny
And
thing
some
is,
twirlers.
yeah, the Shikhar Dhawan twirlers. Yeah, but spinner, some people get put off if, you ask, is he a spinner? And then is Kumble a spinner? Lots of batsmen play him as an in-swinger. Mark, you faced Kumble. Any difference between a normal spinner?
Plenty. Yeah, plenty of difference. I mean, he's not looking to get the ball up above your eyes, that's for sure. And yeah, you're basically trying to keep your front pad out of the way and play him. Well, I would be trying to play him towards mid-off and extra cover. So yeah, I mean, he was a great man as well. I mean, I had the pleasure of captaining him for half a season at the Oval, and he was just a wonderful, wonderful guy. So yes, well deserved, and he might keep that record for quite some time. 4 for 16 is pretty good in any 20-over game.
Yeah, Kumble is of course associated with the final because he's one of the many mentors and coaches and people associated with the Mumbai team who don't play for them. Ricky Ponting is another, but yeah. So finally, that happened in the only IPL final that did not involve the Chennai Super Kings. So it's a little off-putting if you're playing 2020 questions and your first question is obviously going to be, is he a Chennai bowler? And you say no, then like, okay, did Chennai play the game? So that's 2 questions gone already. But yeah, good work from our fans to get that right. Let's talk about batting now. Mark, Chennai's top order, we've spoken about Raina, Dhoni, Vijay, Hasi. All these guys, they've been in a lot of IPL finals, and every time somehow Chennai gets to bat first. When they win the toss, they prefer to bat first in a big game, and these guys all score a lot of runs. So, aren't they due a failure in one of these big games?
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, the law of 2020 averages tells you that you can't, just ask Malinga. You can't do it every single time. The nature of the game is, there's too much risk and reward involved. So, yeah, but the thing that CSK have in their favour is that not all of them will succeed every night, but 3 out of the 6 probably will. And in T20, that's all you need. And sometimes in T20, one is all you need. So the thing that makes them so good is that they have so many guys who are capable of making a match-winning contribution, coming in one after the other. So the chances of them all having a nightmare night are very, very slim.
Isha, so Chennai obviously prefer to bat first and put runs on the board. And it's a big game, so you would expect them to do that again. But there's a little bit of rain in the air. The chances of a Duckworth-Lewis situation coming to play. We saw that Rajasthan might have been better off chasing the other day. Will that affect Chennai's decision if they win the toss today?
I think Rajasthan struggled because of their weaker bowling attack. They didn't have any spinners in their lineup for obvious reasons. And I think, yes, if there is a bit of rain around, if it's likely to rain a bit later, yes, you do want to know how much you need to get in case Duckworth-Lewis does come into play. Otherwise, because it is a final, it's always better to have runs on the board, purely because of the pressure situation. It's a knockout game. You're trying to win a cup. And Chennai and Mumbai both, both have pretty decent batting lineups. So they'll feel that if they can get up to 160 plus, then they can, put the other team under a lot of pressure. So naturally, I think if there's not too much rain happening, bat first is definitely the way forward.
Iain, what are your thoughts on that? Chennai won the toss, they should bat first. Would you agree with that?
No, I'd always chase if there's rain around, and I know that you shouldn't necessarily play cricket for the weather, but I really do think that if there's any chance of there being a Duckworth-Lewis game, that Mumbai should chase, and Mumbai will win. So I've just put my colours to the flag post there. I think Mumbai will win today. I know it's a bit early in the huddle, but there you go.
Iain has surprisingly got a lot of these predictions right. So yeah,
I've got every Pune game right that I've been on the huddle for, which is I feel dirty about, by the way.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
They won.
And I called that one right. Yeah.
Oh right.
Yeah,
Good on you.
If he had got,
Yeah, well, they were playing Delhi, for God's sake.
if he had got IOB on every single game that Pune played, they would be playing this final, and they'd probably win this final as well. That's the one thing that was missing for Pune. We didn't have Iain always on the show when they were playing, unfortunately for them. I hope
now they're gone. And now they're gone anyway.
That's a lot of influence you've had on the IPL, Iain. Your absence is to Pune disappearing from the IPL. But it's Mumbai versus Chennai. Let's hope we have a good game, and we might not be back for another huddle after this. But so yeah, just before we go, Mark, what was the best thing about IPL 2013 for you?
Boy, I think the length of it. I mean, it could have gone on for another 4 weeks for me. It's just not long enough.
It's just
We need more games. We need more teams, more franchises, more controversy, more police involvement. That's what we need next time round. That'd be excellent.
Yeah, you blink about 7 million times and you've missed it. The IPL is gone. So, Isha,
Mine by far was Adam Gilchrist's exit from the tournament. Kings 11, playing Mumbai. He comes on to bowl the last over, and it was just everything about that delivery. Just the swagger that he had when he came on to bowl. Praveen Kumar looking incredibly uncomfortable with the wicket-keeping gloves. Harbhajan Singh taking an age to face the delivery, and then the amount of time that the ball took to get down to the other end, and then obviously getting out on the boundary, and then Gilchrist's celebration was just definitely the best thing about this IPL.
Dancing.
I think we asked Adam Gilchrist maybe 5 years back, if there's one wicket that you want to take before you exit the game, who would it be? He probably would have picked Harbhajan Singh. There's a lot of history between the Australian group and Harbhajan, and that one was for his good friends Matthew Hayden and Andrew Simons. I'm sure they all appreciated the fact that it was Harbhajan. Iain, your best memories from IPL 2013?
Oh, the huddle, definitely, guys. Working with all of you guys.
Yeah, man. I love you, Obi. I love you, man.
And also, every time Stain bowled, I just think Stain's been epic right the way through this competition to to play as many games as he has and to bowl as quick as he has in every game. I know it's nice to to think about the big hits, the Gale's innings and some of Hussey's innings and the likes, but I just think that the way that Stain's going about his business just so professional and just so fit and fast, and I'm a little bit disappointed that we can't watch Sunrisers today because every time I get to watch Stain, it's just something a little bit special. And it's a fast bowler to a fast bowler, a medium fast to a.
Yeah, you're not alone in the Stain love there, Ian. A lot of us actually enjoyed watching Stain bowl. We've all enjoyed watching James Faulkner emerge in this IPL as well. It's kind of nice to wind up the Huddle on a good note, talking about the good things about the IPL, Dale Steyn, the Huddle itself, and everything else.
Yeah, the police.
and the Mumbai Police, yeah. So, yeah, on that note, we'll sign off and look ahead to hopefully what will be a good game. Thanks for joining us, Isha, Ian, and Mark. Good having you on the show. Bye-bye.
Cheers, all.
Thanks,
Take it
Nitin.
easy. Have a good day.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I love you guys.
Oh, guys. Right, okay.